What's going on? So I was just talking about this, and I'm gonna be real. I don't really like to hear white people give their thoughts and takes about slavery, unless, of course, they're gonna come correct about it. You know, the whole thing with Julian Michaels was offensive. Donald Trump's whole thing's offensive. I know why he's doing it because he don't want to talk about the Epstein files. He got every kind of thing to talk about, trying to give people more time if they burn the American flag or this and that. So when you trying to burn them Epstein files, what you trying to do? I don't really want to hear white people talking about slavery unless you're going to either reparations, apologize for it, and signify the evils and how it has given you privilege and put you in a certain position. I really don't want it. But I'm going to tell you something. It's the most important, impactful thing. If you're born and bred in America, all the way through Europe and other places, it's the most important thing. We that is tied to that is every bit as part of being in the country. Sorry, when they talk about an elephant in the room, it is the elephant in the room because you can't get around it. You can't. You just can't. You know, if you're African American, what have you, and you have mixtures and DNAs, etc., everybody would have somebody almost they're related to. So, you can't talk about deporting people and doing things to people. But I don't want to hear white people talking about slavery. I don't. They don't teach you nothing in school about it. Not the whole. Because if they really told the truth, they would have to redo the Declaration, the whole everything, the Bill of Rights would have to be redone. It wasn't even meant to be for black folks. See, when you get stupid, idiot, bigot trashes like Julian Mike talking, and she talk about 2%, 2% of what? The percent is what has dictated and facilitated ownership. Every business, every corporation has benefited off of slavery against black people. Jim Crowism. Donald Trump's daddy and them got busted back in the 70s for housing discrimination against black people. His racism has been front and center. His niece put it there. There are some tap dancing, shuffleboarding folks, black folks, who sell out and simp for him, who act like conveniently don't remember Central Park 5 with him and Rudy Giuliani. Where's Giuliani now? Messed with those two black women in Georgia and lost all his money in the civil case. See, they're very much bigoted. And the thing about it is this, too. I want to talk about it. Yeah, it's gotten worse after Obama got in. It didn't bring people together. It made things worse. But that's another video story I'm going to talk about because I want to do a separate video with Martina Navratilova. But this here, I don't like to hear white people talking about slavery because you can't tell black people how to think and feel about something when relatives and people who went through Jim Crowism, who were treated as second class citizens, couldn't eat, drink, just think, and had to be succumbing and had to deal with hostility because the based on the color of skin, which is legalized, legalized. Let it sink in. So no, I don't want to hear nobody white talking about something that they privileged and blinded them when you know the mental illness of it. When you live in a country that has dead presidents who are slave owners, and you still have to sit there and dignify and use that to get where you need to go, that should tell you everything you need to know. Your New York Stock Exchange, your markets, your Ivy League schools, the White House that was built off the hands of slaves, etc., go through all these institutions, penitentiaries, which are built and funded by bigots because it is $1 billion business. It's like all these plantations of entertainment, sports, etc. They do what they want to do. They don't want to talk about it, but they've made a living off of it because it's been passed down like a recipe. So now, unless you tell the truth about it, I really don't want to hear you say nothing about it. And Trump wants to throw it out there because he Archie Bunker types, because that's what people like to, and they've so seduced by, well, we don't want progress, we don't want peace, we want hostility, negativity. You got a backwards butt country who still walks around with Confederate flags. You lost the Civil War, you haven't grown up, and you don't want to share. You have a caveman mindset, and you don't want to wake up to what's going on. You talk about you got a problem when people talk about woke. You don't even know what woke means because you've been sleepwalking because you've been allowed to. So I don't want to hear nobody trying to talk about something that they haven't walked in the shoes. First of all, let's trade places and see how you would survive if you grew up in Section 8 and you had to go in the projects and the hoods. And let's see what would happen if you got treated like second-class citizenship. When you hear stupid people talking about reverse racism and when last I checked, who was black owning and dictating you? Who are the black people on the money? Who are the black people calling the shots in Hollywood? Who are the Supreme Court justices who are predominantly what? And you got an Oreo cookie on there and Clarence Thomas. So you can't tell me about something without it, bringing the actual and the factual. You can't do it. So this is a fact, That's a fact. That's what's up. And they don't want to talk, but I don't want to hear nobody talking about something that they can't, Music industry is a plantation. It's all. You're treated to take it. Double standards thrown in your face left and right all the time. You'd have to re-tear up the Bill of Rights, everything. You'd have to take the slave patrol police out because they don't know how to treat black people. Okay? That's a fact. Court system, all the stuff is worked up against agenda. So now I don't really want to hear it. But this is what they do. That's what Trump wanted. He's hoping for a race war. They're hoping for something to go down when he's sitting on National Guards with all the black mayors and all black cities. I said, yeah, well, you need to refund our educational system because we ain't learned nothing. We ain't been treated like full-class citizens. Still battling. 400 plus years, the same old same. You still howling about some Columbus who's basically Jeffrey Dahmer's cousin or great-great uncle because they the same person. Cannibalism and just symbolism of something that's negative. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another share if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm on one time. Peace.